So now I've kind of gone through a fair few hours of Dragon's Dogma. Is it worth it? Is the hype worth it? Is the I don't even want to say it, but the transactions even worth it? What is the game actually like? Because I've seen a lot of negative and a lot of positivity on it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, it's not as if I'm sitting here playing RPGs every single day. This predominantly is one of my first RPGs in a long while. Now, I didn't play Dragon's Dogma 1, and most definitely I haven't played any sort of Elden Ring, I haven't played Dark Souls. This is kind of my first ever introduction to an RPG at the moment. So I am very, very new to the different things that RPGs do differently. And to be honest, I really thought that RPGs were different. The only thing that I'd say I've played in any sort of, I don't even know if you'd say similarity, because it's definitely not a first person, is something like a RuneScape. That for me is the biggest. I know they're an MMO, but in this sort of same kind of thing, that is kind of what I've played that is as similar to getting levels up. Predominantly, I am a lot of sports games, and that pretty much sums up a lot of it. Car games, sports games, role-play, the whole shebang there. So when it comes to the RPG, what are my first impressions of this game? Have I enjoyed it? Has it been... Why do I keep shaking hands? That is the bit that really frustrates me. Just leave me alone. So what has it kind of been like? Because the first introduction to it is the whole NPCs can die. Now, I had a main account. I didn't have any wake stones. I didn't get rid of it. One of my pawns got rid of one of my NPCs. So already I've kind of stumbled across something that is just very different. It's very different, and to be honest, I can understand it. I think it is most definitely a decent thing if they are trying for that hardcore sort of option, because obviously when it comes to a lot of hardcore games, if you are looking predominantly at doing an Iron Man, doing a, I've seen it on Twitch where it's a lot of the time where they don't die or something like that, or they don't get hit. That is a big, what is going on there? Are you looking for gift cards, game keys, and more? Head over to U7Buy for a variety of cards you can get today. From PSN, Steam, all the way to Xbox. With huge amounts of price variations, check the link in the description for cheap, reliable digital cards for you right now. Well, they're done. So when it comes to the NPC side of stuff, I can get it. I think it's something different, most definitely something I'm not used to, but I can understand where they're going with it in terms of kind of making it almost just more real. And I think when the director or the producer or whatever said that obviously they are trying to make something where NPCs are more valuable to you. You've got to be very cautious and cautious where you actually go in the game. Because obviously if you bring a wild griffin back, that's going to have massive repercussions. Why are these fighting me? Go away! So when you have... I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Go on. Go away. Oh, I'm picking up my mage. Go away. No one wants to fight. There we go. And this is it. It's just totally different to explore a whole world where it is just generically just crazy everywhere. Now, we did die to this earlier, so I'm going to give it another go and see if we can do both at the same time. But when it comes to, obviously, actually playing the game, I think it's pretty seamless. Like, it is very good. Yes, there is always the... we are not going to be able to beat that, are we? Oh, these are going to come and help now, aren't they? Of course. So, obviously, when it comes to actually playing the game, I think most definitely they've done well with the kind of animations and actually playing the game, kind of the combat style. I've heard in terms of other RPGs, it's not like it's groundbreaking across the board, but it most definitely seems decent enough. It seems fluid, which is most definitely something that I think when it comes to a game, sometimes the fluid... What is the fluidity? No, it's never not that word. But it definitely is questioned whenever it comes to it. Because normally what you find is you get the storyline, it's got a little bit there, but it's most definitely not the main priority that they've had in the game. I think they've done pretty well with this. I definitely don't see many bugs on it. When it comes to the actual crashing of the game, that is as frustrating as you can imagine, and most definitely is not the funnest part of the game. Oh my, go away. And I think in general that just comes down to, I think, either companies being lazy on the games, because I've seen so many more new games at the moment where there's just so many bugs. And honestly, I understand that it's maybe not the easiest thing to make a game. I have got no problem with that. But when a game does not feel finished, it does not feel right, there seems to be so many bugs of kind of items disappearing and that sort of stuff. I just think, for me, that is just lazy. And I would much rather they spend... Oh my, let's get an item. I would much rather them spend a lot longer on the game, maybe giving themselves another half a year, another few months away from doing the game to actually get it right. And it's the same with this, like the amount of times, like as you can see in the top right now, my game file is absolutely corrupt. I have to do a specific thing that I have found to actually get it to work. Why is he coming after me? This is not fair. Run away. So obviously that is a big thing on my part that I'm not a massive fan of, because if it's going to make you autosave and make you have to kind of adhere to their rules of the whole you only get one save, everything counts, that's fair enough, but at least make the actual options work in the game then. If you're going to adhere to that for me is the biggest thing in just actually running a game properly. If you want it to be this hardcore mode where you have to struggle across a load of different things, at least make them options work. That was a cracking shot. So for me, that already is kind of the down note of it, because that really put a kind of downer on the actual game to start with. Oh my. Because obviously you want a game, especially when you're spending £70 on a game, you want it to work absolutely seamlessly. Like there's no question, if we're putting a lot of money into a game, you can't have it not working. I think that is an absolute understatement. He's coming after me again, isn't he? Course he is. So that for me is the big thing. You've got to get something right if it's £70. If it's £30, if it's something like that, that's fair enough. I can kind of understand that. Is he stuck? Can I get this reviving? Beautiful. So that's kind of where I'm on a standpoint there in terms of the game. I think when you're looking at a £70 game, then there needs to be a level which isn't crossed, because I think when you're paying that much money, it's just absolutely criminal to have it feel like it's not working. That for me is just an absolute no-go. But then, oh my, we're a bit closer than I wanted. But when it comes to the actual combat side of stuff, the quest lines, it feels decent. It does feel a good game. I feel like I can have a lot of fun with it. Did he just kill me? Oh my. We are going to use a wake stone here just because I know how to actually get them now. So that at least is something. And I am not coming back to do this guy again. This has taken far too long. So there is different elements of the game that I am a big fan of that really work. The quest line most definitely is good enough that I'm like, okay, we can actually get a decent story out of this. And there's a lot to do. It isn't just kind of, you are not going to kill me. He looks like he's trying to get me. No, he's not actually. That's fine. So when it comes to obviously this... Go away. I just want this. So when it comes to the actual kind of progression of the game, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I do like the game mode, and I think when it comes to just playing it, I can have fun for absolutely hours. There is very little time where I'm kind of bored on the game, and very little time there's nothing to do on the game, because it is absolutely massive. And I'm about like 10 to maybe 15 hours in, and I've barely even scratched the surface. As you can see with the map, there is a lot more goblins there than I thought. You can obviously see from even the map's point of view that there is still so much to have a look at. Like, we're just trying to delve into this bit. There is still all of this that I have not even gone in. Then we've got dungeons, you've got caves, and all of that good stuff that most definitely is going to follow as well. So the hours that you could actually spend in this game is absolutely crazy in itself. So that already is a decent thing. And hopefully if there is... I don't know if there's ever going to be DLCs, but something to add to the game, maybe to stop the bugs, then to maybe add more quest lines and all of that good stuff. The game could just only get better from here. So In terms of, is it worth £70? I think most definitely you are considered to be worth £70. I think the minor problems that we've had, I would say most definitely the PC have had it a hell of a lot worse, because obviously when it comes to PC, there was people with insane computers that still couldn't run it, and it would crash before you know it. That, I think, for me would be as infuriating as anything. When it comes to the console, the only real kind of bugs I've found is potentially crashes due to the save not happening. So it does mean that if I want to finish the game, like, so say I want to actually kind of save and kind of go off it, I do have to make sure I go back to town to be able to create the file that breaks, and then I can resave it myself. That is frustrating as ever, but again, it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. I think that's kind of where my justification comes in, that there could be worse things on the game. It works. There's very little visual glitches as such for me anyway. It is a goblin up here. So that for me is kind of where I standpoint for it. Is he dead? Nice. Can we do the same for you? Boom! Maybe not. But in terms of everything else, I do think when it comes to the actual game itself, I'm very happy with how it's come out. It seems pretty decent across the board, and yet I've still not even gone probably halfway through the game. Now, I will kind of make a follow-up to some extent on this video when we get really, really far into the game, and I can kind of see what the... Oh my god, go away. I didn't see you there. We can kind of then see what the difference is, kind of how my feelings are when it comes to top-end mechanics and kind of going into the really advanced vocations and see if there's any differences across the board there. But for now, we are in the kind of casual game mode at the moment. We're not quite 20, 30 hours into it yet. Maybe kind of in time of just standing there, possibly. But in general of exploring and kind of going through places, there's still a lot to get through in this game. And there's still a lot that I am learning just generically through the game. But if you are playing it as well, let me know down below how you're getting on with it. Are you enjoying it? Is it your cup of tea? And what's your experience with RPGs? Are you big into them, or is this your first one as well? Let me know down below what you think though, and I will catch you all in the next one. Oh my.